All right, so as you mentioned earlier, Alvarez is out of quarantine and he's actually masked up. Actually, he's not masked up.
No,
I don't
he's
think.
not.
In the live shot we saw earlier,
yep.
his head was on the table. For that sentencing hearing, let's get inside that courtroom for victim impact statements.
My name is Amy Gembarra, and I would like to thank Judge Goldstein and the Court of San Diego for due process of the law for finally allowing me to share my voice today. Thank you for allowing the voices of Mario's loved ones to be heard. Thank you to those who have helped along the way, especially the continued work for justice of the Domestic Violence and Victim Advocate Program. Mario Fierro was my beloved fiancé who was maliciously murdered by Jesse Alvarez. One moment, Mario and I were planning our wedding. Then the next moment, our loved ones were planning his funeral. None of our loved ones expected this to happen, nor do we want to be at this sentencing today. Through this agonizing journey, I learned that the primary loss is the person, and the secondary losses continue. That murderer's actions endangered many lives, including my family, Mario's family, our friends, even the CCHS community. When he took Mario's life, he also took away my security, safety, confidence, life direction, my community, and my job stability. My loss is significant and multi-layered. I haven't felt safe since that convict attempted to break into my apartment in 2019. He made it his full-time job to stalk me and eventually Mario. He harassed me to the point of exhaustion with creepy tactics of trying to contact me. This abnormal behavior infiltrated my life in so many ways that I've had to seek therapy and a lot of support to navigate all of the fear and anger causing me much distress every day for years. My family has painfully watched me suffer through numerous holidays and anniversaries that were supposed to be joyful moments. That murderer had time to change his mind, and yet he chose to execute Mario. He is fully responsible for Mario's death. If Alvarez is ever released or tries to contact me, I will continue to fear for my life and safety and those of my loved ones because he continues to show a lack of remorse despite committing a first-degree murder while lying in wait. I believe life imprisonment without parole is justified based on his actions, and I leave that to God and the judge. Now to share about the man that I love, Mario. Mario was loyal, genuine, hilarious, and unapologetically a coach, teacher, son, brother, friend, and fiancé. He lived life to the fullest and was all in. Mario's confidence and faith were contagious, and he could light up a room with his energetic spirit. That's what I loved about him. I felt secure in Mario's love for me and had the gift of knowing his love every day. He exhibited a healthy relationship through communication, trust, and boundaries. Together, Mario and I shared our faith, vocation to educate teens, and enjoy life in San Diego. We discussed plans for our future, including marriage and family. Our wedding was already in the planning stages, with each of us excited to start what should have been one of the happiest moments of our lives. Mario's life was taken. I am ready to leave behind the label of victim and trade it to survivor. I stand for those whose voices cannot be heard. I stand for women who have experienced domestic violence, not here today, who had to deal with men who cannot take no for an answer. Mario's life illuminated what love is supposed to be here on earth. That murderer tried to take Mario's light by taking his life. But the thing about light is once you experience it, you are changed by it forever. He took Mario's life, but he cannot ever erase Mario's memories and positive impact. I choose not to focus on the darkness, but to close with John 1:5. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. May the perpetual light shine forever upon Mario's soul, and may God bless and heal the wounded hearts who loved him.
Amy Gembarra, what an amazing soul to be there and first give the victim impact statement, but then say, I'm ready to leave behind the title of victim and trade it for survivor.
Yeah, and it was really sort of this homage to this person who died, the person that she loved, and the love that she found.
Right.
And she wanted to really praise that and then give this guy a lot of time. But what really struck me, she talked about losing her safety, her security, and her self-confidence. You don't realize the effect that this type of killing has, where you're being stalked and your whole life is being invaded. It's just, and I thought she embodied that very well.
I think so too, and a victim impact statement, of course, is to give every victim an opportunity to be heard. But Michael, the way that she's presented it, I think it's been one of the most impactful, to your point, to make you realize the effect this man convicted of murder has had on all of the people in Mario's life.
Yeah, and not only that, the victim to survivor comment that you mentioned, really helps you understand closure. Once this is closed for her, maybe she can make that move.
It was 4 years ago.
It was 4 years ago.
4 years ago. All right, we're going to go back in because now we are going to hear from the sister delivering again a victim impact statement.
Things often happen fast and without reason. I remember January 2021, I felt like things were on the up and up. Mario and Amy had just gotten engaged in December. I remember being so excited. Everything looked and felt different in a great way. I saved the date on my phone calendar. I imagined how I would look in my makeup and where I'd get my party dress, waiting with great anticipation for what was to come. It was a Monday like any other when it happened. No one in my family knew until it was too late. I cannot describe the anxiety I felt as I phoned Mario's school. No answer. I took a risk and sent a Reddit user a private message. On February 1st, a post was made on the San Diego subreddit about the gunshots heard in North Park that morning. Misfortune favors the bold. Immortalized in my Reddit inbox is confirmation that my brother, Mario Fierro, had passed. Homicide is a mourning situation with conditions. Your brother, who you exchanged words with the night before, is now the decedent. The apartment he lived in, once a figurative crime scene filled with dirty laundry and unwashed cups, has now become an actual crime scene. You want a straight answer, but there is an investigation going on. We can't have a funeral yet. The body hasn't been released. These were some of the hurdles faced in the weeks following Mario's passing. I wish that was the end of it. I wish the minute the priest uttered the last blessing at the gravesite, I would be absolved of my guilt and sadness. I remember I need to plant my feet on the ground. I was sad before February 1st, and the priest is just a guy in a robe who is saying words that mean something to someone, and that someone is not me. The days, months, and years that follow are just as challenging as the day I lost my brother. I saw and continue to see my parents in distress. I experienced a wake for the first time, and I saw Mario's embalmed, mutilated body. Therapy bills. I transitioned from being on regular antidepressants to taking a drug cocktail. Receiving unsolicited condolences from strangers. Running into problems at work. Running into problems with my family. Cleaning out Mario's apartment and throwing away things that now belong to no one. Crying for no reason. Having nightmares. Feeling lonely when there's people around. You'll ask yourself the same questions. What am I doing? Why am I here? What does it all mean? Maybe you'll realize questions like that aren't worth asking. Life doesn't require meaning to be valuable. The things that we experience do not require reason. I don't believe in retributive justice, even amidst what I have gone through. I do believe that actions have consequences, no matter how small. I have faith that this court will impart a sentencing to Jesse Alvarez, the killer of my brother, Mario Fierro, that is fair and just. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.